random video stream, whatever you want to call it. Don't even know if anyone's going to be awake, but I just got off not too long ago on DIY or Die's podcast. It's called In the Mix. The link should already be below. Yeah, it should be like right there. So if you want, you'll check it out. I was very nervous about doing it just because, I don't know, you know me, I'm kind of, shy, antisocial, whatever you want to call it. So, but it was actually really fun. I was, I want to say pleasantly surprised, but it's not really the word. I don't know. I'm just glad that it wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. We talked about a lot of different things, and I don't know, it was just something new and I liked it. So check that out if you want. Still doing the paranormal or paranormal show tomorrow, Friday. I guess technically it's later on today because it's past midnight here. But yeah, that's going on. I have a couple people that have expressed interest on coming on. And just to, I guess, elaborate on what exactly it's going to be, basically what I want it to be is just people talking about their spiritual background. Like for me, I think I've said this before, but I started off and lived most of my life as a Christian. And it was only up until a couple years ago where I kind of fell away from that. And I don't know, I find it interesting to hear other people's perspectives and how they started at one place and what led them to thinking differently. Because for me, it was like the more I did research on things and kind of figured out more about myself as a person and things of that nature, I just realized that, and it wasn't really anything that happened. Like, it's not like one day I just woke up and was like, oh, I'm not Christian anymore, or I'm not sure I believe in that anymore. It was just kind of gradual. And I think a lot of what held me back from feeling the way that I feel now sooner was fear, because, it's so ingrained in people's heads that if you don't think a certain way or act a certain way or whatever, that there's going to be dire consequences. And, what's scarier than an internal bad consequence for your actions or thoughts? But I don't want to get too much into that. But those are the kinds of things I want to talk about. Just, what were your backgrounds? What are your thoughts and beliefs now, and how did you get from there to here? Or, yeah, I guess that's the right way. I also wanted to do this because I wanted some advice, because while I do follow vaping pretty closely as far as like what products are out and what things are liked or whatever, I'm not a new vapor. I've been vaping for 5+ years. So my grandma, she wants a new device because she tried my dad's while he was there in Michigan over the holiday and really liked his. The only thing that she's had previous, I think, is like a pen, like Ego style. And I told her a while back about getting something better, but I don't know, I guess she just wasn't really interested until she actually tried it. I don't really know. So basically what I'm trying to figure out is what to recommend to her. I want something that is not super complicated because, obviously she's older and she doesn't know a whole lot about vaping, to be honest. And she's not as ignorant to technology as some older people are. But in the same respect, she's doesn't really know anything about vaping. So I don't want anything that's too complicated. I was thinking about because my dad has the 50-watt iStick. That's what he showed her while he was up there. But the thing about that is my background with iSticks isn't the greatest. So I'm worried about that. I'm worried about the 510 getting wonky, and with me not there to troubleshoot it, it's just kind of hard. Because like if she were here, like we lived close to each other, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But with her being out of state, and I've tried helping her with like computer related stuff, and it's like pulling teeth. It's really complicated and just frustrating, and I don't want to put that on. I don't want to put that burden on myself, or that frustration on myself. So like I don't know. I can't really think of anything that is like about the size that I want for her. Something that I think she would like. With an internal battery, I don't really want her messing around with external chargers, 18650s, none of that. I just think that'd be too much. Essentially, or ideally, I think what would be best is one with an internal battery that can be just use the standard USB cable. I don't know. I was thinking maybe the iStick, but I don't know. The only thing that worries me is that pin, that center pin. I can just see it being an issue. I have not seen that review yet. I'm kind of behind in reviews for like maybe the last week or so. So I'll have to look that. I guess I'll have to check that out. Probably should write this down because I always think that I'm going to remember shit and I don't. My memory is not that great. That's a good one, MVP. I've heard a lot of good things about the MVPs. Because she's not going to need to go above like 20 watts. There's no way. Because I don't go above like usually 25 watts. I don't go above. So if I'm not going above that, there's no reason that she would need to. So I think the MVP is probably, for some reason I forgot all about it. I guess because I've never had one. Because by the time those were like a thing, I was like past that as far as vape. I don't know how to put that properly, I guess, without sounding smug. I guess I lean towards the egos and stuff like that above like Pravari or MVP. I don't know, because that was back when I didn't like box mods. Now it's all I vape, so go figure. ST, shut your face. That's funny. Hey, everybody. MVP 3 Pro. And then I gotta check out the Endura T18. I love ST's voice. He has like a radio voice, like for real. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I don't even know what that is. So I guess I'm not as up to date as I thought I was. Well, the thing is like what's up to date today is like completely outdated tomorrow. No, the knee box, I don't want to do the knee box. I think having it all on one thing would just confuse her. And it's too big. He doesn't want to hang out with you, Fluffy. Sorry. Sorry about it. Yeah, I was trying to think of what tank to recommend her. Because if she's getting a new mod or whatever you'd like to call it, I'd imagine she probably needs a new tank as well. I can't remember what. can't remember what I left her with. I know at one point I was going to give her my Pro Tank too. I guess I could give her my regular Pro Tank. I might do that. I don't know. E-Leaf Basic. Interesting. Like I said, she's not completely ignorant to technology, but she's not like us where it's like a hobby of like constantly learning new technology and features and stuff like that. Yeah, it'll have to be something with coils. Last time she was vaping that I can recall, she was using clearamizers and a pen, like an ego pen type thing. I kept telling her that she would vape more if she had a better setup. Because she said, you know, she said it was okay, but I don't know. You can tell when somebody just likes something that's kind of like tolerable, and then when they actually enjoy it. Yeah, that was another thing I was thinking about was the ego one. I don't know. I don't want her to have something that's too powerful, but I feel like the little ego pens obviously aren't doing it for her. She wouldn't have asked about it. But I don't want to hand her or recommend her a 50-watt temperature control device that she's going to look at and be like, what the hell is this? Because, I mean, she vaped it, you know, when my dad was there, but he already had everything set up. So it's like, I guess I could give her my spare sub tank, and then she could just buy the coils for it. Because if that's what she tried when he was up there, then obviously she liked it. Does anybody have the E-Leaf 40-watt temperature control? And if they do, have they had issues with the center pin or heard of issues with the center pin and found resolution to it? Like something to solve the issue? Because, I mean, I'm sure there's a way to fix it, but it probably involves taking it apart. And I've learned from experience with my 20-watt, because I took my 20-watt apart. I Danieled it. And, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Number one, everything's crammed in there. And number two, these little buttons like to just pop out. And then there's like this little membrane that goes between the sensor on the chip and the button. So when you push it, there's like a resistance instead of just pushing down and not pushing back out. I lost that and it rendered it useless. So, but would the bendable adapter fix the issue after it's already broken though? That's the issue. I know what you're talking about. Because it works because I have to manually lift the pin, which doesn't make sense because it's the same shit I had to do with my 20-watt, but I was pretty sure that the 40-watt was spring-loaded. So if it's spring-loaded, why do I have to do that? It doesn't make sense to me. Oh my god. Because ideally, I'd like to just give her this, because I really think this would be perfect for her. But it's like, I don't want to give her something that isn't consistent. Because when it, you know, fucks up, I'm not going to be there to fix it. Yeah, I think the 50 watt iStick that my dad has would be way too big for her. I mean, I sent her the link for it, so I mean, if that's what she wants to get, that's what she wants to get. It's not that expensive at all, you know, these days. I mean, it never really was, but it's even cheaper than it was in the beginning. Oh no. Here's the MVP. So just a 20 watt. Yeah, and I figured out, well, I didn't figure it out. I kind of partially figured it out because I was thinking about it when I was at work. And I'm not going to get too technical with this because I'm not completely knowledgeable about temperature control. But I was thinking about the way temperature control works. And from what I read, and I'm going to try to explain it as accurately as possible, but the way it works is it like sends current or sends power, whatever you want to call it, through the metal and makes it vibrate or something. And it reads like the fluctuation in the wire, and that's how it knows how hot to get. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about the fact that I was told that the EVIC, you can adjust the wattage in temperature control mode, but it turns out that's not true. But even if going based on that, it's set at 75 watts. And I was thinking about it, and I wrap my coil higher because that's how I typically would, especially in a tank. In a tank, I find that I like to wrap it around 0.7 or 0.8 ohms. So doing that at 75 watts just doesn't work. But I was wrapping it like I would, because I figured with the temperature, you just turn it down and then hopefully it would be still okay. But it's obviously not the way it works. I guess all of that's a moot point now because someone informed me how you can adjust the wattage in temperature control mode. So now it's not as much of an issue. I'm still going to mess with the ohms, like when I'm wrapping my coil, and bring it down a little bit to like probably 0.5. That's what was recommended. I think it probably worked better. And yeah, so that was the issue. That's why it was getting hot so quickly and I got the burnt flavor or whatever. So user error, as I suspected. Hello, Gulliver. There you go, Chad. That's kind of what I was looking for, is fluctuation. That's what I was looking in. Yeah. I think you understood what I meant. I don't know. I read about it and I understood the concept, but I didn't remember everything exactly because I was wondering how the hell it works and why it doesn't work with Canthal. But I guess Canthal, there's not enough of a fluctuation for it to be able to detect it. So that's why it's not a thing. Just there's not enough. It doesn't react. It's not reactive enough, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna mess with that more. But yeah, I'm not gonna be on here long because my back is killing me actually. So I've been sitting here since about 9:45. But I wanted to hop on because I wanted to ask you guys if you had any suggestions. And I wanted to tell you guys about the podcast. Because I knew about the podcast for a little bit now, like a couple weeks, but I didn't want to talk too much about it until it actually happened. And everything kind of wasn't set in stone for me until like yesterday. So that's why I didn't really mention too much. But yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, the podcast was nice. The device is for my grandma. So yeah, the more people I can convert to vaping, the better. Because my dad was up there, like I said, for like Thanksgiving, and she smokes these little. They're like cigarettes. They're really cheap. You can get them at like the dollar store or the Dollar General or whatever. I forget what the name is, but they have like brown paper. And she says she doesn't inhale it, but I think she does and probably just doesn't notice. But yeah, she smokes those things. And like the last time I was up there, I had such a bad headache by the time I left. And I was only there for like 4 or 5 hours. And he was there for like almost a week, or if not a week. And, you know, since he just quit smoking like maybe a year ago, I was kind of worried about how that would go, like him being around the smoke and everything. But, I mean, his wife smokes. So I didn't really think he would pick it back up again, but I was thinking it might bother him just being in such close proximity to someone who's smoking, especially what she smokes. But yeah, I don't know if it's like American freedom. I don't know. It's like, if I remember correctly, they come in like a white box with like blue writing on it. I don't know. They come from like this little like convenient store. She gets them for like, I think they're supposedly made on like an Indian reserve or something, or a Native American reserve. I don't know. They're terrible though. They're awful. Like I tried, like back when I was smoking, I tried one of them and I thought I liked them, but yeah, I bought a carton of them and I don't even think I got through like one pack, and then I was just like, I don't like these. Like, why did I think I liked these? Cheap cigarettes. Like, they're not legit cigarillos, but they're called cigar cigarettes. I don't know. It's weird. But they like have a really potent smell. Like, they smell stronger than just like a standard cigarette. Like, to me, cigars actually smell good. Like, I probably wouldn't mind as much being around like a legit cigar. But like, cigarette smoke I've never liked. And I don't like whatever these are. I'm trying to find it online. I don't see it anywhere. No, they're not cloves. Yeah, I've always been sensitive to cigarette smoke. I don't know if I was as much when I was actually smoking, or at least it wasn't as offensive to me or as potent to me when I, was smoking, but I've never liked the way it smells. It's never been appealing to me. The only thing I really liked about smoking was the feeling, not the sensation of actually smoking, like the throat hit or whatever you want to call it. I never liked that. Never liked the smell of it, never liked the taste of it. I just liked, I guess, the buzz, the nicotine buzz kind of thing. I don't know. American Spirit, that's what they're called. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Huh, maybe not. Unless they changed their packaging. It just sounds very familiar. Then again, when I'm talking about it, this was like 6-7 years ago when I saw the carton. So, huh. Yeah, that might actually not be the one. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think those are right because they don't look right. I don't know. Whatever they were, they're terrible. Maybe I'm thinking of it from a movie. It could be it. Yeah, they're definitely not $4 a pack. They're like, I think they were like $10 a carton or something like that. It's part of the reason why she bought them is because they were so cheap. So it's probably not what I'm thinking of then. Jeez Louise. Yeah, when I last was smoking, I was rolling my own, so I didn't have to deal with outrageous prices like that. It's pretty cheap to roll your own. So the last time I actually bought a pack of cigarettes, I think they were still probably around $4 a pack. And I was never a super heavy smoker. The only time I smoked a lot is when I would drink. Then I would like chain smoke. I'd feel like absolute shit in the morning. It was part of the reason I started rolling my own is because they would get stale before, like the pack of cigarettes would get stale before I would be able to get through them. Cigarette. Clipper Light. I think that's what this, yep, I'm pretty sure that's what these are. I told you, white box, blue writing. And they're still cheap as fuck. Yep, $10 a carton. See, yep, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure that that's what these are. Yep. Hello, everybody. It's ST Vapes. Ugh. Well, I got nothing else to talk about. So, like I said, my back is killing me. I can only sit in this chair for so long. Gizzard's been here a while. What are you talking about, Chad? Yeah, monkey. Yeah. I guess I got a couple churls now. Probably can't see shit. No, absolutely not, Gulliver. Absolutely not. Yeah, the show was on last night. We almost got him again. I told him that we weren't live again. No, Relic. Absolutely not. I don't want to break YouTube. This is a little sticker. It's a sticker I got from... Ooh, who did I get that from? Shit. I don't know. I got it from somewhere. And then it's another sticker. I think I'm going to put my stickers on. Just like a collage of stickers. So I see how it is fresh. Come on my live show, but you don't text the sister back. That's what I'm saying, Chad. That is exactly what I said on the podcast. It's like weird comments like that are like, I like your arms. And I've gotten that like 2 or 3 times now. And the first time I saw it, the first time I heard it, I thought the guy was just being an asshole. Like, nice arms, like sarcastic. And he might have been, I don't know. But then like this is like the 3rd time this has happened. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I hate that. My arms are like probably like one of my worst features. It's like, why? They're not defined. They're not strong. I don't have muscle. Not that I want any. But yeah. Andrew did what first? Asked about the belly button? No, Andrew wasn't the first to say that. Probably like the 3rd to say that. I think it just became like a joke somehow. Not really sure. I'm not strong at all. Maybe back when I was working out a little bit, I started getting a little bit, decent. That all went to shit. Yeah, Gulliver. Definitely. Somebody the other day wanted to buy it from me because I was showing off my new stuff. And he's like, oh, that's nice. He's like, if you ever want to sell that. I'm like, I kind of like this one, so... No, Relic. I don't think you did. Jesus Christ. He's stupid. No, I'm not showing anything. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's like weird the things that some people find attractive. No. My ears are right here. You can see them from here. I've turned around before and you've seen the back of my head. You just don't pay attention. Because I'm constantly looking see like where Momo is. And she's like comatose. She's gonna be mad when I make her move. She'll get over it. Oh, my nose is itchy. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to stay on here long, so I say that like pretty much every time. How long has this been already? 23-ish minutes. You know why I only talk on Fresh's show? Mainly because on everyone else's show, they just talk over each other the entire time. And I don't like doing that, so I just don't say anything. Plus, a lot of times they're talking about balls and weird sex stories that I just can't contribute to. I don't have balls. I don't have a penis. I haven't been sleeping around. So I don't have stories to tell. So it's like I'm just sitting there. Fallout 4 looks interesting. I've only seen other people play it. As far if that's like a DiYorDie reference, DiYorDie actually posted on my Vaporium not too long ago that supposedly the reason why he's been MIA is because he's been swamped with work. So it might not necessarily be all Fallout 4's fault, but I still suspect that it's an issue. I don't mind uncivilized comments or shows. I mean, if they want to talk about dicks and balls the entire time, they're entitled to that. That's their show. I'm not going to like hate on them because I don't want to talk about that or I have nothing to say about that. I don't expect them to cater to me when I'm like the 10% of the panel that's there. So I just usually sit and chat and talk, or I just don't say anything because, you know. No. No to Relic and no to Goo. I mean, a lot of what they say is funny. I just don't have anything to contribute to it because I cannot relate. I cannot relate to having balls and scratching my ass and sniffing it, and I can't relate to that. That'd be like me talking about my period. No, number one, no one wants to hear about that. Even fellow women don't typically like to hear about that. So men sure as hell ain't gonna want to hear about that. Now, maybe if I talked about my boobs, they'd like that, but there's really nothing that happens to them. But that's why I'm quiet during certain shows. If I'm quiet during certain shows, it's usually because there's too many people. There's too many people, I just kind of recluse, and or I can't relate to whatever they're saying. So I just don't say anything. I've only had the evic for like a day, so I mean, I think I like certain things about it. Where did it go? I just had it. Oh. I moved it over here because I was about to go relax and then didn't end up doing that. I like the evic mainly because of the screen. I know it's like kind of weird, but I just love how bright the screen is, how clear it is to see. Like it's Like, you don't have to stress at all about trying to strain your eyes to see what it says. Like, everything's just so clear. Yeah, but C-Fresh, you see how it says 19 watts, and this is in stainless steel temperature control. So you can adjust the watts. So that's really cool. So now that I know I can do that, it should make it a little bit easier to find something that's tolerable. Stupid. But yeah, I did not like the Connects. The thing about the Connects is that it fires really hot. And considering the fact that I already vape really low wattage wise, it's just like it's just not gonna do. It's not gonna do. But at this point I have enough other mods or whatever, I don't have to worry about that. If you're asking me, Relic, I've literally had it a day. I can't tell you. I did the firmware I think 1.2 or 1.1, something like that. I did one first because that's what the instructions said online, and then I had to go back and do, I think it was like the 1.2, because that's the one that does stainless, but with the old format. Because I guess if you skip straight to 2, it changes the format completely of like where everything is, and I don't like the way that looks. I like this format better, which is the original one. So if you do the 1 upgrade, it's like the second to the bottom. That's the one I would recommend if you like the way it looks. Because really, I guess the only difference between 2 and the one below it is just like the format of the information on the screen. But it was super easy to upgrade. Super easy. Yeah, but I mean, it's a nice looking device, I'll tell you that. It did, like, I wouldn't say it auto fired, but it fired in my purse. Like, for some reason I've been having really bad luck with my shit firing in my purse, and I'm gonna have to start locking them. And I know I probably should have been doing that far before now, but I've never had the issue with like my Cannoli. Never had an issue with it firing, but the PVA is really bad with firing. Like, the slightest little thing will just set it off. Like, it's ridiculous. But I was I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I was grocery shopping not last night, the night before, or was it last night? I don't know. It was late at night recently, and I smelled something funny. Like, it smelled like it was burning, but it smelled like a familiar burn. And I'm like thinking, what the hell? And the first thing I did think of was vaping, but I just kind of like quickly disregarded it because I'm like thinking, how could that happen? So I just kept like continuing to walk, and this all happened within like a span of like 15-20 seconds. So then I was like walking, and I'm like, wait a minute, I wonder if it's firing. So I look at my purse, and sure enough, it was auto fire, or not really auto firing, but it was firing. And yeah, I had to I lock it now, put it that way. But then this one was doing it. I had this one, and this one's like much harder to fire than that. Like, this, you could like breathe on it and it will freaking fire. This, like, you actually have the tactile feedback, I think is what Phil Basardo calls it. This one has that, which I prefer. And this was firing. Like, this all happened within like, I don't know, 36 hours. And it literally happened as I was thinking about it. I'm like, I need to start locking my devices when I put them in my purse. And then I start smelling something. I'm like, are you serious? And it was doing it. So bad. The Connects 50, I don't know what that is. I talked about the Vape Connects. If you're talking about the same Vape Connects I talked about, I said I don't like it. It fires too hot. I'm telling you, Relic, I swear, like, it was just so random. Like, I was literally thinking about it, and then I just start smelling that familiar smell. And sure enough, it was going off. But I don't understand why it was going off. Like, this is not hard to push, or it's harder to push. Like, I don't know, it was weird. So I need to start locking my shit. That's the moral of the story. Interest besides vaping, I do a show once a week, Fridays usually, if I have the day off, on paranormal stuff. It's like a big interest of mine is paranormal. Outside of that, video games. I like music, science, mainly like technology, outer space type science. I don't know. I'm kind of a dork. I used to make jewelry. I don't really do that much anymore. But yeah, makeup, I guess. But I'm sure you guys don't care about that. No, I'm not going to Mars. Neither one, David, the gnome. I like mainly rock. It's mainly what I listen to, but my like MP3 player has the most random group of songs on there. Like it's weird. Like I have Japanese music on there, K-pop, Backstreet Boys, Killswitch Engage, Def Leppard, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Avenged Sevenfold. I mean, it's just like random. It's ELIQUID. I don't do the other stuff. Well, I don't have an iPod, okay? I don't do Apple. Genome. I do not, Tommy. I'm not saying I'm like very educated in K-pop, but like there's like a couple bands that I've come across that I like. I think it's called Girls' Generation is one of them. There's another one that I can't remember right now. And then J-pop, which is Japanese. Mind you, I don't speak either language, but for some reason, I still like it. I don't know. I don't know Gizzard. My nose is itching really bad. But yeah, I have really weird. I also have Shakira on there. I think I still have a Spanish song on there. So I have like Korean, Japanese, Hispanic. Don't speak it. Well, I took 1 year of Spanish, but you can't really count that as much of anything. What's an affable lady? Yeah, the funny thing about like J-pop and K-pop is like their chorus is usually in English, or a lot of times it's in English. And from what I understand, it's just like to appeal to a broader market. So like, and I mean, it does kind of work, because if you know nothing like throughout the whole song, as long as you know part of the song, it makes it more memorable. So I don't know. I think it makes sense. I don't know that I'm friendly, but thank you. And you'd be surprised people that'll show up and just troll. I don't think it has anything to do with the person they're trolling. They just find a person they want to troll and they do it. I don't know. I mean, someone trolled Fresh, who's like one of the nicest people ever made. Biota. Yeah. I don't know, but I like Asian stuff, so kind of makes sense. Monkey, I don't think, okay? I don't think that you troll. Monkey trolls and he doesn't even know. Anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much, like, I used to draw when I was younger. Don't really do that much anymore either. But yeah, mainly anymore these days, it's like vaping, video games. Been watching Supernatural a lot lately, which is probably what I'll do after this. Trying to catch up, because I just literally started watching it, and there's like 11 seasons of it that have like 20 episodes or more each season, so pretty behind on that. The problem with drawing is, number one, I don't have patience for it anymore, and number two, it really hurts my hands, because I have issues with my hands. I don't know if it's like carpal tunnel or arthritis, but I don't know. I think it's just from years of being on the computer. But I don't know. Like jewelry, that's another reason I stopped making jewelry, partially is because it hurt my hands. Like certain things, because like I do like wire work, and it's like the same repetitive motion again and again, like the twisting of your wrist to make the loops and stuff like that, and it just like kills my shit. I'm a righty, but I can do a lot of things with my left. That doesn't sound right, but I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm ambidextrous, but I'm more ambidextrous than most people. No, I don't have problems doing coils, but the difference between that is I wrap coils very infrequently, whereas when I was doing jewelry, it was constant, just turning. Because like, I don't know, it would kind of, you would need to see the type of work that I'm talking about, but I don't know, it's hard to explain. You would have to see like the jewelry that I made to know what I'm talking about, but it's like very repetitive again and again and again. This is back when I was making jewelry for, because like my cousin owns a shop in Tennessee. It's just like this little, I don't know, it just like has random stuff in it, and she had my jewelry in there for a while, and I was making it for her, so I would have to make like X amount, so it was like just the repetitiveness of doing it again and again and again. Whereas when I'm wrapping coils, I'm literally wrapping like a couple at a time, and that's it. And I don't wrap coils that often, so it's not an issue. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, David. I don't know. Stupid. I don't want chainmail against my boobs, okay? That does not sound very comfortable. But yeah, it's like, I guess it could be considered chainmail, I guess. Similar, but like with beads in between. So it's like you have a link, like there'd be links, or one of the last things I was doing were cluster bracelets, and you have to take a head pin. I don't know if I'm probably going to speak complete foreign language to most of you guys, because I'm sure most of you don't do jewelry, but you take a head pin, you put beads on it, and then you loop, make it like a hook, and then it goes into like chain. So you take the head pin, the beads on there, and then you have to make this. There's like, I think, a technical term for it, but I don't remember what it is. And you just like loop it inside the chain, and then you take the loose end or the remaining end and like loop it around so it's like secure. But anyway. Well, vaping is a hobby for most people that watch these shows. I wouldn't say that in general it's a hobby, but I mean, okay, I guess put it this way. You have people that like to drink. They just like drinking, and they do it because they like the way it makes them feel. It helps them relax, whatever the case may be. Then you have the wine connoisseurs who actually like to collect wine, and they can taste the different nuances and the flavor profile and how it was aged and how long it was aged and where it was brewed and all this other crap. So like they take more interest in it because it appeals to them. That's kind of like how we are. We're like the wine connoisseur of like alcoholics. That's the only thing. And yeah, it does give you something to relate to other people with. Because, I've met quite a bit of people through vaping. I don't know, it's something to, I can't think of the word. Brings people together. I don't know. I mean, people think a lot of things are hobbies that some people wouldn't agree with. Like, would you consider video gaming a hobby? I mean, there's not much that goes with that. You literally sit in front of a screen and push buttons. But people would call that a hobby. People collect bottle caps as a hobby. Like, way back in the day, probably not much anymore. They collect stamps. That's a hobby. It's not much involved there. You buy shit. It's still a hobby. At least we're creating something. Like, I don't know. It's as much of a hobby as you want it to be. I mean, if you're using vaping just to get off smoking, like just as a means to quit, that's perfectly fine. I don't have any issue with that, and most people wouldn't. But if you enjoy it and it interests you, then, delve further into it. You only have to be as interested as you want to be. As long as you're vaping safely, learn what you need to, and just be done with it. You don't have to watch shows. You don't have to go on forums and hang out or anything. But if you want to, it's there. Wizard Labs never has codes. I don't think I've ever seen a Wizard Labs code. Ever. Yeah, I need to make a flavoring order soon, but I don't know. Well, I shouldn't say need. I want to. Speaking of which, if Fresh is still out there, you still need to make that kettle corn, like the caramel kettle corn one. I was thinking about that the other day when I was thinking about flavors that I need still. By Mo. Yeah, Wizard Labs is the site without a code. Like even ECX will have sales every now and then, but I don't think I've ever seen Wizard Labs with a sale. Yeah. No, David, I don't do any of that. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. Not that there's anything wrong with weed. I just don't do it. There's personal reasons that I don't do it. Mainly because I don't enjoy it anymore. And yeah, I'm not getting into all of that, but I just don't. And not everyone that vapes gets high. Contrary to indoor smokers. I don't know. I don't really have problems with pot in general. It just doesn't agree with me. Makes me very unmotivated and depressed, and I don't need any help with that. Plus, I'm trying to get a regular like job, and now is not the time to be doing that. And I don't drink anymore because I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I just don't really enjoy any of that anymore. Every now and then I'll drink, but for the most part, I don't. I guess I don't know. I guess the mentality for me is if you can't enjoy your life sober, then you're doing something wrong. And that's just my personal view. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with every now and then partaking in things, but I don't know. I know some people that's like, that's all they do. I don't know. I just think it's a bandage on a wound. Because usually people that are doing stuff like that all the time, there's like some underlying reason, not just necessarily that they like it. Well, that is true, Chad. It does help with pain, like chronic pain and things like that, but we're not talking about that, Chad. We're not talking about that. It's funny. Yeah, I mean, I did a fair share of partying when I was young, or younger, however you want to put it. I don't know, I think I got over it, and there were a couple situations where I was in a really bad place, like a bad situation that could have been like 1,000 times worse. And it kind of amazes me looking back at all the stupid shit I did, mainly when I was drinking, how it didn't, at least at one point, turn out way worse than it did. So it's like, I guess you have to sit and think, like, how much good luck do I have? I guess being a girl, it's a little different. Because, you know, when you're drunk, I mean, you are in a bad position. And if you're putting yourself there, I don't really have that much compassion if you get into a bad place or a bad situation because you put yourself there. Like, you have to take some accountability because I mean, you know when you're wasted. I mean, most of the time I was drinking with people I knew very well, but there were some times where it could have been really bad, and luckily it didn't end that way, but I don't know. Part of the reason why I don't like bars so much is because nearly every time I've had like a horrible experience for one reason or another. No, Relic, I have not. I'm sure it's all BS though. What was I going back to? As far as is vaping healthy, I don't know if you're being serious or not. I'll just assume that you are. Pretty much the consensus is that it might not be entirely 100% risk-free, but it's definitely better than smoking. Many times over. There's been a lot of studies done, but I don't feel like there's been enough done to prove without a shadow of a doubt that there are no side effects. However, I think it's been proven enough that it's better than smoking. I can attest personally, like back when I was smoking, I would feel like shit every day. Like I could feel it in my chest. I could feel it in my throat. I just like my throat always felt sore, and I could definitely feel it. With vaping, I don't have that. I never really had the issue. Like some people get really dry mouth and throat from vaping because of the VG. Because VG is a humectant, I think is what it's called, where it basically pulls in the moisture from whatever it's surrounding, and that's how the vapor is produced. And so when you're vaping, it's pulling the moisture from your mouth because that's where it's getting its moisture. That's how it produces the vapor. So in some cases, people will get like a little scratchiness in their throat or a little dryness, but it usually goes away pretty quickly. And, you know, people just recommend to drink a lot of water at first, which, I mean, you should be drinking a lot of water anyway. But, yeah, I never really had that issue. I have the issue with PG. Like, too much PG bothers me. Empty stomach. Okie dokie. That is a bitch excuse. That's hilarious. Downsides of vaping, I don't know. I mean, nicotine, I guess, would probably be the biggest, I guess, issue. I don't know how you would put it. Like, if there were anything negative in vaping, the most negative aspect of it would probably be the nicotine. But if you don't go with, like, the propaganda that's being spewed and actually read up on it, it's about equal to caffeine. So it's like it's a stimulant, and it is addictive, but so is caffeine. So all these people spouting all this garbage about how horrible nicotine is, it's just about as harmful as coffee. So people have no issues. Like, there's no news. I've never seen a news bulletin about caffeinated soda or coffee or whatever, besides like maybe the occasional Fox 8 bullshit, but I don't know. Thank you, Lost. I like the podcast. I thought it was fun. It was kind of confusing because you got to understand that I came in at least like halfway through the show. So I wasn't there for like introductions or anything. So I knew who Wayne was because, you know, obviously I've seen him on YouTube and everything. So I know what he looks like. But the other guy, I didn't know who he was really. And I felt kind of rude, like who are you? But he was in the chat as like a different name. And then it was over here like under a different name. So I didn't know they both were the same person for like, I don't know, 60% of the show. It was kind of funny. Damn, Monkey's like overdrafting his account. Well, David, you're entitled to your own opinion. I personally don't find cigarettes that attractive overall. I mean, they kind of glamorize it in movies and stuff like that, but in real life, it's really not that attractive. And it stinks. But yeah, anyway. I thought that the podcast was nice, though. It was different. It's definitely different, and I didn't know how it was going to work. That was another thing. It's like Google Talk. So instead of like Google Hangout, which is like video and audio, it's just Well, I mean, I guess it still had the option for video, but I'm not sure who would see that outside of probably just the people within the Hangout, I guess. But it was just like, I don't know, the format was a little different. It was kind of weird, but I mean, it worked. I don't know. Don't know. You can watch or listen to the podcast on replay, Gizzard. It's part of why I put the link down there. I did not. Hi, Andrew, if I haven't said that already. Sometimes I think things and I don't say them, and I think I said them and I hadn't. Oh my goodness gracious. I swear Gulliver and Relic are like the same person. Are you guys related? Gizzard, you're always having technical problems, aren't you? Did you get your camera yet? Or have you still not gotten that yet? No, I did not see that. That's hilarious. Yeah, I have to admit, and I'm not really sure why it is. Maybe it's because it was only audio. Maybe it'd be different if it was like video too. Because I'm more comfortable like audio than like, you know, I don't know. Video, like visual, not so good. That's why a lot of times I don't look at the viewfinder when I'm talking. I just kind of look at the screen. Plus I'm reading comments, obviously, but the advice I was asking people what I should get for my grandma, or what I should recommend for my grandmother, because she wants a mod. But I don't want anything too technical for her. So pretty much we came to the conclusion that I have to do more research, but I wrote down MVP, 3 Pro, the Endura, and the E-Leaf Basic or something. So I have to look at those and see what's doing, but I wanted it. The E-Leaf iStick would be good in theory, but oh, good Lord. Yeah, she mouth to lungs. Thank you, David. Anyway, I lost my train of thought there. Don't know why. Oh, I think I went on like video versus whatever. Anyway, I was more comfortable talking to them than I thought it would be. Like, just like chatting back and forth, it was like, it didn't feel as awkward as it probably should have, or what it usually feels like. Because usually if I don't know somebody, it's just really awkward talking to them for me. But like, it really wasn't that bad. It was kind of weird to me. So I don't know if that's me just kind of overcoming my shyness a little bit, or if it was like any particular reason why. I don't really know. Because I've never talked to Wayne before, ever. We talked like a couple times just to kind of talk about the show, like, you know, me being on the podcast, whatever. But that was it. Just that one group of messages. Andrew, lately I haven't been liking RTAs. Outside of the Goblin Mini, I do like that one. But it could just be that I haven't had luck with them lately. I don't know. This is actually my brother's setup, which is kind of funny. This is his spare computer. He set this up so I can game, because I've said before, I'm on Twitch. Most people know that. So that's what this is for. But it's an HP something. I don't know. I guess I can look it up. Trying to think of where I found it. Because I found it before, but like, it's weird trying to get used to a desktop when you've used only a laptop for like 5 years. Damn it. And it's getting late, so my head's just like not here. HP webcam 3100. Yeah. So that's what it is. HP webcam 3100 or HP 3100, whatever. I think it's decent. I mean, for what it is. Like I said, it's really meant for gaming, or the intended purpose was for gaming, not like micro or macro lenses. I'm not like building coils. Yeah, my computer just randomly shut off and restarted. I don't know what the deal is. But I'm going to get off here soon anyway. Let me see what I missed. That's funny. No, my camera didn't just go down. Everything went down. I think I might have hit something because I have my feet on the tower. Probably not the best thing to do. Either that or it's still fucked up. My brother installed a much better fan because he was suspecting that the stuff inside was getting too hot. But he put a huge fan in there and then added another fan. So there's literally like 4 fans going. So I don't think it's that. I did a screenshot of the temperature so we can look at them, but I don't think it's that. And it doesn't feel warm at all. But he'll look at it later when he's awake. Yeah, the webcam didn't go out. It was just the whole fucking thing. That's funny. Bye, Chad. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm not going to be here. If it's over 90 Celsius, no, it's nowhere near 90. It is. I got to pull the stupid thing back up. The highest temperature is 38 degrees Celsius. So nowhere near that. And from what I remember, it's well below what he said is usually like the warnings or the, I can't think of the word. But I don't think it was the heat. I think I just hit something with my foot. No, my brother doesn't vape. The only people that vape are my dad and then my stepmom's starting. No blue screen. It just shut off. Like first my monitors shut off. That's why I think I just hit something with my foot because like I said, I have my foot on the tower. And when I moved my foot, everything just shut off. So I'm guessing I hit something that I shouldn't have hit. Don't even say that word, Gizzard. Don't even fucking say that word. GPU like I said, all the temps are, the highest temp was 38. Or do you mean CPU? What the fuck is a GPU? Oh, there it is. It doesn't say. Why would the graphics shut everything off though? That doesn't even make sense. Like the computer literally stopped and restarted. I don't know. Like I said, I'll tell my brother. I don't know. F you, Gizzard. You're trying to get banned, aren't you? Anyway, well, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. And we're talking about the S word, and we will not have any of that. None of that. Yeah, I got it, monkey smartass. I've never heard of anyone calling a graphic card a GPU. Sorry. Monkey, you're doing it again. No, you like being a smartass is what you like doing, monkey. Don't condescend me. And I don't care if that's the right form of the word. That's what I'm saying. I have a degree in computers. I know for the most part what they are. No, you're not trying to help. Try and be a smartass. That's what people say when they don't want to come off as a smartass. They say that they're trying to help. It's not true. Monkey likes the attention, so if he were to get a spanking, he might like that. I'm not really sure. Okay, monkey. Okay. Anyway, good night, everyone. Watch the show tomorrow if you want. No trolls, though. Trolls will be banned. Bye-bye.